investigated before they've even been discovered and worked out and people made signatures for. So it's a simple collect-all for transforming documents to a rather innocent format. So with that in mind, it's as simple as you've got a PDF, it's got some nasty malware in it, it might be JavaScript, it might be in the metadata or something like that. We convert it to HTML, that makes it fairly innocent. We can actually run HTML like sanitization tools on it, to strip out any JavaScript, any flash files, anything like that. And then we can convert it back to a PDF. And yeah, it might look a little bit different, but ultimately it's actually a completely different file, all the metadata is different. It's a lot safer to look at now that it's been through this transformation process. So with that in mind, we set about trying to build a system that can perform that. And, as an example for something that people can take and use, well, we can open source this, so if you'd like to speak to me later about it, we can show you a demo of it and you can potentially get a copy of it. So the first thing we come across is, we're going to make a server that we're going to put all of our company's documents through, and it's going to do this transformation. Wonderful. That's a severe single point of failure. Anyone, if they can gain assistance on that, is going to see all your documents before they've been transformed. There's a big risk there, so it's not something we really want to take on for a single server. So we thought about using other technologies. There's obviously a lot going around with Docker, containerisation and serverless, which is what we decided to do. So serverless, and the reason for that is that the transformation process, it's a lot like the server's a needle. It's a great tool, perfect tool for the job. Once it's been used, throw it away. We don't want to use it again. We don't want to pass another document through that server in case something bad has happened when that transformation happened. So every single transformation gets a new instance or a new container or something fresh that we're not going to have any compromise in. So serverless is the technology that we use. So we're using Amazon Web Services, we're using Lambda functions, and we're using Fargate, which is one of the newer services that they provide. So Lambda functions, for those that don't know, are kind of quite short-lived processes. You get maximum time of about 5 minutes. So great for quite short documents, not great if you're doing a 1,000-page PDF or something like that. Also, there's a small element of reuse, so the servers tend to live for about 4 hours. So if you rerun the Lambda function again, the temp directory only might maintain it. So there's a small risk of persistence there, but not much. And then Fargate, that's Amazon's new shiny Docker running service. So it actually it allows us to say, here's a container, go run this in the cloud. We don't have to worry about underlying instances, high availability or anything like that. We're just saying, go run my Docker container, run it once, and then dispose of it. So we've got this nice concept in there of you run it once, you throw it away. We don't care. We don't care if it gets compromised, it's disposed of. So this is the project that we produced. This is the actual architecture. So I'll whiz over this quite quickly. Obviously, I've not much time. So we decided to keep it simple for the way that people use the service. It's like a Dropbox. You drop files into an S3 bucket, an in bucket. The application will then go and pick that up, do the transformation. When it's all done, it will drop it in an out bucket. So from an implementation point of view, it's up to you how you'd want to get those files in and out. So the first thing it does once you drop the file into the in bucket is it lands in a file processor, which is a Lambda function. So we do some kind of analytics on it to start with, work out what the best kind of transformation is. So we've made quite a few transformers, and we've also put quite a few options in there, depending on necessarily how thorough you want to be versus how much time you want to spend doing it, or how much you're willing to compromise the actual visual imagery. So an example might be if you're putting JPEGs in, you might decide to turn the compression way up. So that if anyone's embedded anything with stenography, the actual artifacts will then help to remove that, and it won't persist through that process. From a human point of view, it'll still look pretty much the same. So we've got 3 transformers in place at the moment. We've got a PDF one, which uses the PDF box open source library. We've got the image transformation, which is using Graphics Magic, which again is open source. And finally, for document transformation, we're using LibreOffice. So we've got kind of all the basis code of PDF and Doc and DocX and things like that. And it's a system that you can build upon for more formats. So if this applies to other sort of file formats, you can transform those as well. The other thing I talked about briefly was using Fargate. So if you decided that Lambda functions weren't suitable from a security point of view, from a file size point of view, then you can switch to using Fargate. And what that does is that the file processor decides to go and create a Fargate instance. That's all done by API calls. It's not something you've got to manage. It's not something that's running there permanently. You create a Fargate instance, it goes and does the transformation, and then it just terminates when it's done. And again, that's dropped into the out bucket. So I've got some kind of rough costs here. Unfortunately, some of the slides got a bit messed up when we converted them, but it works out very cheap to do. So one of the nice things about the way that Lambda functions work, and the whole system in fact, is when it's at rest, it's not costing anything. It works just as well doing 0 transformations an hour as it does doing 10,000 an hour. It's really nice, from a scalability point of view, and that comes for free with the services that we're using. So if you wanted to go and transform 10,000 documents a month using the Lambda function method, we've estimated it'll take about 10 seconds per transformation. That's going to be free. You have to pay for that. All you have to pay for is the S3 storage, so to keep your files. So it's a great thing to get started with and to play with. If you wanted to go a bit more enterprise with it, you could do 1 million. That's not its maximum capacity. You could do much more than that if you wanted to. You could run it 24 hours a day, doing 1,000 transformations concurrently per region. So you could really turn the whip up on it. That's going to cost you about £110 to do 1 million. So it's not hugely expensive. The Fargate one works out a little bit more expensive because of the way that the billing works. So Lambda functions, you build per 100 milliseconds, so it's quite cheap. The quicker you finish, the quicker you stop getting billed. But when it comes to Fargate, it's you get charged 60 seconds as a minimum. You're creating a Docker instance there, and you have to pull down the Docker container each time. So it works out. I think for about 10,000, it's about £5 or something like that. If you get to 1 million, it's about 500 or something around that. Which again, if you're going to speak to the AWS guys, you might be able to negotiate down as well if you're doing 1 million transformations concurrently. So yeah, that's my time done.